Hello and welcome to a new video. Bit of a different spot today. I thought I'd record out here because the sun is just starting to come out. Will the dogs leave me alone to film this? Probably not. I cannot make promises. But anyway, I know it is a bit late, but I thought I would try and make my hair look normal. I thought I would finally do my wrap up. I'm going to do a one take wrap up for May and June. Honestly, I don't know how much longer I'm going to do one take wrap ups. I wonder if I should do them like quarterly rather than monthly or something, because sometimes doing it month by month gets a little bit overwhelming, but we'll see. I haven't decided yet. Regardless, May and June were my slowest reading months, so I don't have too much to catch up on. So we're just gonna kind of run through everything I read in May and June. So first I reread The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I did really enjoy this one. I reread it ahead of the show coming out, and it was a fun reread. Based on my memory of reading this series, and this is one of the first like contemporary romance or like sports romance series that I read, and I read it I think I read it in 2020, but from what I remember, the first one and the fourth one are my favorites. So I was excited to revisit these characters. I still really enjoyed it. It definitely was a little bit different than I remember and reads a little bit younger than I remember, but that's not a bad thing. It's just different than my interpretation the first time. But I still really enjoyed it. Next, I read book 3 of the Apollo series, The Burning Maze. And there's a reason I haven't read the fourth one yet. The Burning Maze, the dogs are playing right in front of me and they just really want to be in the video. The Burning Maze is a book. It is, and lots happens. Just like there's a lot happening in front of me with the dogs right now. So a lot happens and it's overwhelming, and there's a lot of like choices made in this book that I don't know how to feel about, and at this point, like, I know I need to finish the series and I do want to. It just, one, I had to wait so long to get the fourth one rented on the library, and then like I kind of just got distracted with some other audiobooks, but I will finish the series. This one just really destroys me. So that's all I'll say on that. Next, I read what I think will be my favorite book of the year, and that is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I think this is one of the most brilliant, hopeful, like the essence of humanity, like just one of the most beautiful books I've ever read, and it's not something I would have expected myself to pick up otherwise. It is a science fiction. It's written by a male author. It's a male main character. It's a very science heavy book. Like, it's not something that I ever would have really picked up on my own without it being made into a movie. And then I saw the movie first and fell in love with the movie. And so I picked up the book, and for one, the book is almost exactly the same as the movie. There are very few details that are changed. But like, just in general, the story is so beautiful. Excuse me. So overall, probably one of my favorite books of the year, if not like all time. Like, genuinely, I love it so much, and I already want to reread it. Next, I have Only When It's Us by Chloe Leese. I did really enjoy this one. This was another reread. I wanted to read some more romances with different chronic illnesses or disabilities. These dogs don't understand personal space. And I liked this one. I did think some of the banter and like the enemies to lovers aspect of it, I thought was a little bit forced at times. But overall, I did really like the characters, and I liked the external conflicts. I just wasn't as convinced by the internal conflicts, like within each character, or even like it just in the relationship. But I did still like it, and I will keep reading the series. I read the second one as well in May, Always Only You. This one, again, I liked it, and the external factors were really good, but sometimes like the internal struggles, I was like, feel like you guys are really pushing this, but I did still like both of them. The first one has hard of hearing, deaf representation, which is really interesting to read. And then the second one, the female main character is autistic, and I think she has arthritis too, which I'm gonna go look on my Goodreads because I don't want to give that information incorrectly. And 2 months later, I can't remember exactly the details, which is sad. But I've read a few books in between, so I know I'm right about the first one, but let me look at Always Only You. Chronic pain rep, yes. I don't think, I don't remember if it's arthritis specifically, but there's chronic pain representation, and I did really enjoy that. I do also remember really liking the characters like in therapy. I thought that was really interesting to read. I will say this was also a reread. I rated this one a 4 stars this time instead of a 3 stars. I don't remember really liking it the first time. But this reading my review reminds me that there is drug use towards the beginning of the book. Just an FYI. Next, I read, or last in May, I read A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf. I've been trying to branch out, read some classics that sound interesting to me, not just classics for reading, to read classics for the sake of it. I want to kind of just read ones that I think sound interesting. This one confused me a bit at first because I did not, like when I started it, I didn't realize it wasn't like a narrative story. It's an essay that she's like just explaining some like feminist ideas. This is supposed to be like a really important pillar in feminist like literature and history. So I did really like it. It raised a lot of really interesting ideas. It just took me a while to kind of figure out exactly what she was saying because it wasn't told in like a narrative way. I didn't realize it was going to be in like a lecture way. But it was still really good. I did enjoy it. Next, in the month of June, I also read 6 books. I read The Strawberry Patch Pancake House by Laurie Gilmore, continuing that series. I think I'm almost caught up. I'm 1 away from being caught up, maybe 2. I did really enjoy this one. I love the cozy town vibes in this book series. While the first one is like really, really good, I don't remember which one is. I think the cinnamon bun one, or cinnamon roll, I don't remember what the title is. I think that one's been my favorite so far. They're all good, and I love the cozy town vibes. It is very Gilmore Girls. I do think sometimes like the characters aren't as like, the build of the characters isn't as strong as it could be, but overall I still really enjoy them and I rate them 5 stars. This one was a really good nanny romance, and it did have some tropes that I really like. I could see why maybe some people wouldn't have enjoyed it as much, but overall I did really enjoy it, and look forward to continuing to read the series. Next, I continued my Elle Kennedy reread. I read The Mistake by Elle Kennedy. This is the 2nd book in the series. We have learned this is not going to be the 2nd season. Season 2 is going to be Dean and Allie, whereas this is John and I don't remember her name, Grace. So I think that's going to be season 3 would be my guess, but we don't know for sure. I liked this one. I did. It probably wasn't an all-time favorite. I really like his character for the second half. I don't know, they make a lot. I know it's called The Mistake, but they make a lot of mistakes, but there is growth from it. It just sometimes led to like conflicts that I'm like, I really don't see how they're going to resolve this, but they do. I really like it. It's just not the most memorable story. I think that's what it is. It like doesn't stand out to me as like the most moving or interesting book that even just that she's written, or just romance in general. So I did like it, but not an all-time favorite. Next, I read Roll for Romance by Lenora Woods. This was a really interesting D&D themed contemporary romance. This girl gets fired from her job. I'm gonna be so real, don't even remember what the job was, but she was living in New York, kind of like freaks out, breaks down, moves in with her best friend back in Texas. and is originally just going to stay for the summer. Her best friend convinces her to join the D&D group with him and meets this guy through that. I did enjoy the D&D group. I didn't expect it to be told in like a dual perspective where like you're following the D&D story and then you're following this. Kind of like Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell did, where you're reading the fan fiction and you're reading the regular part of the story. At times I liked it because it was an interesting story. But like some of the characters in the D&D part like kind of confused me, like their names and just the plot wasn't always super clear to me. That might have been a me problem. I just really wasn't in the mind space for a fantasy. I haven't been for a hot minute, but so that could have been me. Overall, I liked it. The characters had chemistry. I loved the D&D aspect. It just wasn't like the most memorable story either. And I said this in the reading vlog when I read this, and I hate that this tiny detail is what, like the one thing that sticks out to me for this book. And unfortunately will probably be like 6 months from now the only thing I remember from this book. But I got so confused and frustrated in this one scene because he works at a bar. She's at the bar and she drank too much and she's like, oh, I probably shouldn't drive home, or maybe she doesn't have a car, I don't remember. But she couldn't drive and she's like, oh, I guess we could call an Uber. And he's like, oh, I'll give you a ride home. Okay, cool. He has a bicycle. A bicycle. This supposedly really tall, big man has a bicycle. Just a regular one. And then offers to give a lady a ride home on his bicycle. What is this? Stranger Things? You guys are not 11 years old. Like, so I just got really stuck on that, and I got stuck on like the mechanics. I'm like, how do you both fit? You're two grown adults. How are you both fitting on this bicycle? I just got really, really stuck on that, and unfortunately it will probably be the only thing I remember from this book. I think I gave it a 4 stars. I don't remember. Next, I read The Luckiest Lady in London by Sherry Thomas. This one took me a really long time to read, but I did enjoy it. I will be so real right now in this moment. I could not tell you what this book is about, considering I only read this a few weeks ago. I love Sherry Thomas. I love her writing. I love the Charlotte Holmes series. Now I'm trying to remember what this book is even about. My review was great characters, great chemistry, fun, steamy read, marriage of convenience, lessons. He gives her actual mathematics and science lessons. She really likes astronomy. Oh, I listened to it on audiobook. It was good. It was fine. I didn't really understand his motivation. It wasn't super clear. So it was an okay one. It's not super memorable. June was a hard reading month for me, okay? I read One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. Another fine book. I liked the time travel element. And like, I'm fine with the magical realism, but like sometimes the characters' chemistry didn't quite win me over. It was a really fast, easy read, and I'm glad I read it. It was one of the books I picked out for Pride Month. I did enjoy it. I will probably never think about it again though, unfortunately. And then lastly, I read Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow before the movie came out. Really enjoyed that one. I thought it was a fun read. I don't think Supergirl is necessarily a comic I'll continually return to. I do really like her, and I like this version of her. And I did really like the movie, but I just don't know as much DC lore as I know like Marvel lore. Like if I'm gonna be reading comics over and over, it's gonna be my Scarlet Witch girl. So, but anyway, those are all the books I read in May and June. I try to upload every week-ish bookish content. Not that the dog cares about that. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!